Another night of rioting in England as police clash with youths in several cities.
London has seen some of the worst rioting in decades, with violence and looting spreading across the city.
Nearly 50 people have been arrested after a night of rioting in North London.
So ahead, London is calm overnight, but a man's been arrested in connection with the fire which destroyed a furniture store in Croydon.
The cost of the clean-up has been put at tens of millions of pounds.
August 2011 saw the City of London shaken to its core. What began as a peaceful protest quickly transformed into 3 days of mindless destruction, where fire, looting and fear took over the capital. An estimated £200 million of damage was caused to countless shops, homes and cars in Hackney, Tottenham, Ealing, Brixton and Peckham, and 5 people died. Londoners were quick to fight back though, not with their fists, but with cups of tea, sweeps, brooms and street parties. Now, 9 months later, we're looking to find out if the sense of community the riots brought on has remained, or if London has fallen back into its notoriously introverted trap. Ian Rathbone, Labour councillor for Lea Bridge in Hackney, was instrumental in the clean-up operations in his borough, and his work with Shiva, whose shop was destroyed, became one of the most well-known stories during the riots. Here he tells us his experience.
On the day of the riots, I'd just come back from my first ever holiday abroad, probably my last, first time I'd ever been on an aeroplane, and I hadn't paid my council tax, so you're not supposed to get into arrears as a councillor, so I rushed down here on a Monday afternoon and I thought, that's a bit funny, the street's a bit quiet and it sort of like feels a bit eerie, and so came to the town hall here and things were closing up, so I was quite annoyed and I was sort of hanging around on the steps and suddenly saw a load of people running up the street and I thought, what's going on? And I looked around the corner by the Empire and just down here, and there were riot police and I was just staggered, you know, and so I stayed and I watched what happened. What happened in Mare Street was really, you know, minor, just people throwing bottles and shouting. But it was obviously shocking. I mean, I stood about 20 feet away from Shiva's shop and saw it completely looted. Saw people running out with, you know, boxes of Frosties. I just thought, I said to them, I wanted to say to them, excuse me, you're about to ruin your whole life, did you know? But there weren't young people. It was older people. Yes, there were some young people there. No, there weren't children there.
Liz Pilgrim is the owner of designer babywear store Baby E in Ealing, which can be seen in this parade of shops. On Monday, August the 8th, her shop was looted, all her stock was stolen, and her business fell apart.
It was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. It was almost as if the birds weren't singing. It was a stillness, and you could smell the burnt embers in the air, and people milling around, not knowing what had gone on, trying to make sense of what had happened. The fire brigade was there, they wouldn't let me into the shop. At that point I didn't think the shop was too bad, because although the glass was smashed, the doors weren't swinging open. It was only when they let me in I just saw exactly what had happened, which was the shop's completely trashed. So anything that could be tipped over moved was. Everything was stolen, things that weren't stolen on the ground, covered in dirt, blood, chicken crisps, alcohol, stains, and glass down the walls where they'd thrown bottles at the CCTV. Yeah, so it's been relatively straightforward for me to get things sort of to recover. I guess the media profile that we had at the time has helped, so people now know of that ranting woman with a baby shop in Ealing, so that's had a positive effect if there is a silver lining. And I think local people do want to support us, which has been really good.
In one area of West London, the Sikh community united during the riots to protect their temple, the Southall Gurdwara, and the family businesses that surround it. Student Sanjit Sandhu explains the defence.
Well, where I come from is Southall, so I only studied like 45 minutes into London, but Southall is quite a very strong Asian Sikh community, which is quite known all over the world. What you'd notice is that there was a lot of unity and togetherness, but it wasn't so just to protect the temple or protect the area. but it was more to stand by what a lot of people believe in, like morals, beliefs, like going back into history, the British and the Indians fought together for quite some time, so there is a relationship with society. We don't believe that someone should be treated the way that they do, especially like through the riots, like one of the oldest furniture shops getting burnt down, and when you hear about things coming to your local area, it does get quite overwhelming, quite a scary prospect.
2011's riots weren't the first time chaos has filled the streets of London. During the Second World War, the capital was relentlessly bombed and scenes of tragedy surrounded the city on a daily basis. The spirit of the Blitz and the people at the time have been hailed ever since for keeping up that British spirit. They were locked into national solidarity, and their sense of community was one that we hadn't seen again until the riots. Terry Charman, senior historian at the Imperial War Museum, shed some light on the matter.
London was attacked for 57 consecutive nights, sometimes in the daytime as well. There was a break when there was fog, but then it carried on for another 27 nights. But London nevertheless continued to be bombed until the 10th of May 1941. But I mean, what it spectacularly failed to do was to break London as a centre of the British war effort, and indeed to break the morale of the British people. Say there was the similarity with the Blitz was that after the London riots was people pulling together, helping their neighbours clean up the mess left behind by the rioters, the damaged things, and sort of pride in the community of cleaning up. What there was in 1940-41, there was a great deal of community of spirit in this country. The bombs didn't differentiate between the heroes and the villains, and people did pull together. Sometimes for the very first time, people would start talking to their neighbours. Somebody's house was bombed out, you'd invite the people in, have a cup of tea, the great British panacea for all troubles. And there was this great community of spirit, and a lot of people have commented that the British people were really, Londoners were at their best during the Second World War, and especially during that period of the Blitz.
The social networking community rallied forces throughout the London riots, with Twitter sensation Operation Cup of Tea garnering national attention after over 100,000 people joined the group, campaigning for mugs, not thugs. The online world arranged many of the sweep-ups across London and aided the rebuilding of shops and the organisation of the countless street parties.
So we had that street party, and we did it at exactly the same time as it kicked off in Clarence Road. And so we marked it very clearly. This is our street. This belongs to this community and no other community. Nobody is going to subvert our community and try and take control of any area of where we live. And so that was made very clear. And we got onto the front page of the Times the next day, which was quite pleasing. And I love the headline, which was, "What a difference a week makes."
Yeah, amazing amount of support, and not only from the people of Ealing, people in London, people in the UK, but people from all over the world saw me on the news or whatever, and they got in touch, emailed and phoned. It was amazing.
I think the only positive thing that came from the riots in general is probably what I'd say is more community awareness and togetherness.
So, 9 months down the line, the individuals affected by the riots are getting back on their feet with the help of their communities, but it seems the wounds of the riots are not completely healed. Perhaps with time, London can keep some hold in its old Blitz attitude, but for now, the city is still just trying to recover.